The Ruger SR45. I just want to do a review and let you know my thoughts on it. Being a new owner of this piece, I've got about 300 rounds through it, and I just kind of before I purchased the firearm, I really did a lot of research on it. Searched YouTube, searched online, so I kind of knew what I was getting into. Most reviews on this firearm, you know, they don't really go into a lot of details, or basically everything's flawless, which I'm sure there are a lot of flawless ones. But then I was searching around and I saw a video by Justin Opinion, and basically everything he went through with being a new owner to this gun. And I have to say that I kind of experienced similar issues, so I kind of wanted to make a video just to kind of put it out there also. When I went to my local gun store, they had two of these in stock. And basically, when I was looking through both of them, I noticed that the sights were off on both of them. On both, my front sight was canted way to the left. My rear sight was canted to the right. And I'm sure that if I just would have left it alone and shot it, it would have been on, basically. But stuff like that kind of bothers me, especially when it comes out of a factory and you have competition who have it perfect, centered, Loctite it down, everything's great. So I knew, like, once I got it home, that was going to bug me, so I had to push this over. So that's something you kind of want to look out for. Owning a number of pistols, I have invested in a sight push tool, so I got them squared away. Pretty much it shoots point of aim, so I'm very happy with that. Talking about that also, I have a friend of mine who has a SR9C, and when he purchased his sights were the same way for some reason. His front sight was off to the left, the rear was to the right, and we got him fixed up pretty good. A lot of these, the SR series, they come with a magazine disconnect, and which is fine, but I have pretty much all my other firearms don't have a mag disconnect, so it's totally optional if you want to do it or not, but I decided to go ahead and remove my magazine disconnect. And to do this, I pretty much called Ruger up, because I did a lot of research on the SR9C, SR9 or SR40C in the full size versions, and on the back plate they pretty much have a little hole right here where you can stick in something to push a little detent to release the spring tension, and then you can slide out the back plate. When I got to looking at this, there's no hole there, so I was like, okay, I'll give Ruger a call and see what's going on there. So I gave Ruger a call, and I talked to somebody there, and I was informed, well, just put something at the 6 o'clock and pull down on it and it will pop right off. So, I was like, oh, that's it? That's easy enough. I could totally do that. So, pretty much I got a punch. I've tried all kinds of different things to push it out at the 6 o'clock. Worked on it for about 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, I've managed to kind of mar up my plastic here. I even got a little scratch here where my tool slipped off. And I decided, the Ruger guy, he doesn't really know what he's talking about. So I got to thinking about my Glocks. And I was like, well, my Glocks, I have to, depress this little spring before I can pull out the back plate. So pretty much what I did was I went ahead and just got a little screwdriver, depressed this little spring right here towards the firing pin, and sure enough, my back plate came right off. So those of you who are interested in removing the mag safety disconnect on the SR45 who do not have a little hole in your back plate, do it like you would your Glocks. So while I had it off, I removed my mag disconnect and I took a Q-tip and cleaned up my firing pin channel. Surprisingly, it was really clean. So that was really good. Happy about that. Put it back together. I did notice that watching Justin Opinion's video, his guide rod spring was very loose on his, and that's not the case on mine. Mine actually goes in, pretty much stays in, a lot of tension. There's really no wobble there. It's not going to come out. So, yeah, I guess I got lucky on that one, or I guess they fixed it. Pretty much after that, after about 200 rounds, I started getting a problem, and a lot of Ruger SR45 users are having this problem to where on the last round, the slide will not lock back. And did a lot of researching on this. A lot of users, when they have this problem, they contact Ruger. Ruger sends them a new magazine, and they're fine. But what's going on is, after kind of loading this and unloading it, loading it and unloading it while you're shooting, the spring kind of, the tension kind of loosens up. And what happens is, you don't have enough spring tension to actually push up on the slide release lever here. And so, after doing a lot of research, I found this gentleman's post to where he was having the same problem. And he said it's not the magazine's fault. It's actually the tension on the slide release lever. So, I said, well, let's take a look at that. So I punched out these 3 pins right here, pulled up the block, and then there's another pin on the bottom of the block. You push that out, and that gives you access to the slide release lever and the spring. So what I ended up doing was kind of massaging the spring, kind of loosen it up. And as you can see, there's still plenty of tension, but it is nowhere as hard to push up as it once was. I mean, I would say it's probably about half the strength. And now, on the empty mag, when you push it down, there's enough, the magazine spring is powerful enough to push up the slide release lever. So after that, I haven't had any more hiccups. It's been reliable, 100%. That slide locks back on every round, or last round, and it's been fine. So, let me see here. I guess another thing that I want to talk about is my experience with feeding. I hate to say it, but currently the SR45 for my SR45 will not eat everything. And pretty much what's going on is, when I went to the range, I was shooting ball ammo and jacketed hollow points, mixing them up in the same mags, and pretty much I found out with the ball ammo around about 200 round mark. Inside the SR45, the feed ramp and everything's starting to get real dirty from the black powder, or from the powder residue. Not black powder, but yeah, just from the powder residue, all the soot. And I was noticing every time I would have a hang up, and it wasn't that very much. I probably had about 4 hang ups, but every time is with these jacketed hollow points. And I noticed with these, the certain kind that I have here, they're almost like flat nose bullets, but they got a little hollow point in the end. And what would happen is, pretty much it would just go right into my feed ramp and just get stuck. Now, I don't know if I'll probably try to do some more polishing on it, but I mean, honestly, it looks pretty polished and it looks pretty smooth. Ball ammo runs fine. Yeah, with those 4 hang-ups, it was always with these. So, something that I gotta watch out for, and probably try to fix in some way or another, or just kind of shoot it some more and see what happens. So, sadly to report, currently will not eat anything, which I wish it would. So, let me see here. Another thing that I want to report, so, users who are interested in buying this firearm are aware of it, is the magazine. It kind of wobbles, and there's some wobble noise. Let me load this up here. I'm not going to wrap around into a chamber, but I just want to load this up so I can kind of show you. I'm going to go ahead and load up 10. And so there's plenty of pressure up against your slide here. And as you can hear, the magazine wobbles. And you know, it's something you should be aware of. I wasn't aware of it when I purchased my firearm. And honestly, I guess it really doesn't bother me because this is just going to be kind of a stay-at-home, home defense gun or range gun. I just wanted a 45 ACP, and I love the slimness of it and everything. So I don't think that would bother me, but this is something you should be aware of. It could be a deal maker or deal killer for you. You know, there's two other things that I want to report on that I've kind of seen with mine. My SR45 here. And one is, I noticed that there's a little bit of peening that's starting to happen right here on the very top, and I'm not sure why that's occurring, because it's above where my barrel is, and it's just like a little sharp edge. You know, I might sand it down, or you know, I might just leave it, because it really doesn't bother me, but I am aware that it's happening, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. You know, another thing that I've noticed that's kind of concerning for now is I got about 300 rounds through this SR45, and I noticed my crown, it's not very smooth anymore. Where my grooves are, I'm getting these little marks on my crown it's almost like it's getting shot out where my grooves are. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. You know, so far it's been very accurate. I haven't noticed anything negative on the accuracy, but I will keep an eye on that. That's pretty much it. I mean, if I had to do it again, I would definitely purchase it again. Even if everything I've experienced, I think it's running great right now. I just got to work on the feeding hollow points, and who knows, I might have to go to another type of hollow point, one that's a little bit more rounded instead of a flat nose type. But overall, great piece. Just things to watch out for if you're looking into buying an SR45. All right, thank you.